And hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of The Melissa Banks Show. I'm Cyrus Webb, excited about Melissa joining us for today's segment, and this is going to be a good one. Our last show as we're heading into 2022. If you guys are looking for some tips on how to be able to market your product, we have just the right things for you. Hello to you, Edie. Hope all is well with you. Appreciate you all being with us. If you guys are not following Melissa, we'll let you guys know how to be able to stay connected with her. She's going to be sharing with you guys today. You know, we've talked about already on this show about how to get started when it comes to your business and brand, what to do when there are some challenges. Today, she's going to talk to you guys about the importance of marketing, and this is something she's had to be able to do herself. So we're going to talk to Melissa not only about her own products and services and how she goes about being able to market those, but also, of course, what she wants you guys to know about what's possible for all of you as well. I'm going to go ahead and bring Melissa in here. As all you guys do have any questions, feel free to let us know. We'll be glad to be able to get those answered for you. And there she is. Melissa, how are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Doing amazing. Can you hear me clearly?
You know, you might want to check that volume a little bit.
Okay, let's not say that too quickly, Melissa. You may have to check yours. But Melissa, great to be able to see you. I want to say, first of all, for those who are just tuning in, those who will watch us later, I have really enjoyed these weekly segments with Melissa because it gives me an opportunity, one, to be able to make fun and have fun with her publicly once a week, but also, two, because we're able to share some great tips for all of you. Hopefully that will help you with your business and brand. So, Melissa, our last show of 2021, what has this experience been like for you?
Wow. I'm just super excited today. You know, so much energy. This has been just an amazing, and it's only been, 4 shows, I think? But it just gets me so excited. So I get up on Wednesday morning looking forward to being able to chat with my friend Cyrus Webb and all the others that will join us listening to our information and sharing. It's just been a blast for me.
Well, I've enjoyed it as well. So as I said, I was kind of setting them up, Melissa, before you joined us. We talked about starting. We talked about the importance of knowing your audience, being able to know how to get in the right room, so to speak, being able to offer what your product may be. We talked about also what to do when there are challenges, when things don't go right. What do we do in a situation like that? But today we want to talk about the actual marketing of a product. And this is sometimes, funny or oddly enough, is the thing that is the most difficult for some people to do. And I think probably because we feel like, well, we know what we offer, right? So people should just know. They saw a picture, you know, or they may have read a post, so why don't they know? So talk to us about marketing for you, Melissa. What has that journey been like for you to have started a business, but then to promote and market that business?
Well, you know, this was a challenge for me initially. First of all, you start thinking that people don't want to see you popping up on their feed all the time talking about your business. Then I was shy with showing my face and being visible. But then I had to learn, you know what? People buy you first, and then they buy your product. So I wanted people to get to know me and connect me with my products. The second thing I had to come to terms with in my mind was, it is my business. It is my brand. I want people to know about it. So yes, I'm going to keep showing up, but that's okay. You keep showing up because you want to get your product out there. You want people to understand your product and connect with you and your product. That was huge for me. And it was a learning process and a continuing learning process for me, as you well know. But it's really great to see your product out there, to see people comment on it. That's the way they know it. Thank God we have social media that we can do that, right? Because we talked about this before. When we first started, we didn't have the ease of creating an ad and posting it on Facebook or Instagram and people purchasing your product. So it's about connecting.
Yeah. And this is something I've had to work on this myself, Melissa. This has not been easy for me to do because, you know, it may be hard for you to believe. I'm a quite humble individual. And that wasn't a joke, actually. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, and I know it sounds funny, even I'm laughing saying it, but I mean, the funny thing is, I didn't like being out front myself either at first. I tried to hide behind, and people said that to me. You're hiding behind conversations. The draw is you. But I was like, oh no, it's the guest. It's this, it's that, So that really seriously was, and I think I had to work on myself just even in the past, I would say 5 years, getting to a place of that in my 18-year journey. So I totally get what you're saying there. Even people like me who are quiet and humble, it's hard for and shy. It's hard for us to get out there, and do these things. But the marketing is important because, as I heard someone say or write or something, that you can have the best product, but if nobody knows about that product, it doesn't matter. So let's talk about this in a real world example, because we could talk about this in a very abstract way, but you are someone who literally has products. So you not only offer services, Melissa, like being an event planner, doing consulting, you literally have physical products, and one of those is your dream box. So first of all, for those who are just finding out about the dream box, tell them about how the idea came about and what that was like for you to going from having a more abstract service to a actual physical product.
Well, the dream box came to mind because I wanted, and I have a passion for just inspiring and uplifting women. And I wanted to use that in every aspect of my business. And that was including the pearl and jewelry. It was so much more than just a pearl necklace or pearl earrings. It was just the experience and the way it made me feel when I wore them. Even my mother and my sisters, we wore them forever. So I wanted it to be an experience when they receive their jewelry, not just the jewelry, but to inspire them as well. So I wanted to put something together that was easy, that I could send to a friend, and they could open it up and feel encouraged and inspired. And that's where the dream box came to be.
Yeah. So you have the dream boxes. Why don't you go ahead and show that to them, Melissa, so they can see actually what it looks like.
Okay, so when your friend or family or for yourself initially receive their dream box, this is what they see. This is what they pull out of the box and open up this beautiful bright pink box. It looks gorgeous. It makes you feel better. I think pink makes everybody feel happy. So I think it makes you feel better as soon as you get it, even before you open it and see all the goodies that are inside. But when they get it, this is what makes it an experience. They open it up, and they have this, let me see if you can see it. They have this beautiful box that has a devotional in it filled with inspirations. In fact, we have our new devotional, the expanded edition that was just released Christmas Day. And it has so much encouragement, inspiration in it. It has a place to write your thoughts and your actions, because that's what we want to do, inspire and motivate to action. So they're encouraged right off the bat. And who doesn't love a great smelling candle sitting there as they read their journal and start their day? What a great experience. Also inside the box, we create inspiration bracelets. So each bracelet have a different inspiration on it. This one says dream. They get to open it up, and I wear one of these every single day because it inspires me and it encourages me. And who doesn't like some chocolate? So we're going to always have some type of treat inside the box when they receive the box. It's a full experience.
Yeah. So let's go back then, because we're talking to our audience. And for those who are just coming in, you're watching the Melissa Banks Show. That is Master Event Planner and Entrepreneur Melissa Banks down below us. Today, we're talking about marketing. If you missed our weekly series here, we've talked about how to get started in business. We've talked about how to be able to deal with challenges, finding your audience. Today, we're talking about marketing, because whether you're talking about marketing a book, music, whatever your product or service might be, that is one of the big ways of being able to get your clients and to get people to knowing about you. So Melissa was just showing us one of her products that she has, because she has physical products as well as a more abstract products like her services that she offers. She was just showing us her dream box. So Melissa, for those who may have missed it, the dream box, it is designed for who?
The dream box is designed for the woman who just wants to get uplifted and have a special experience. So you can give it as a gift. When they open it up, everything is right there. It's not just a necklace. It's not just a bracelet, but it's the feeling. It's the inspiring to motivate. So when you want to encourage another woman, this is a great way to do it. she opens it up as a special experience for her or for yourself. Sometimes we just need some encouragement for ourselves, right? So
Yeah.
when we go to the door and this pink box is sitting there waiting on us, and a smile will come to your face. I don't care what's going on with you. So it will inspire and motivate you as well. Everything in the box is designed with that in mind, to give inspiration, motivation, and action to move you through what you're going through or toward your dream.
Yeah, such a great thing. So I want to talk about this then for our audience then, because what would you say to them if they say, okay, Melissa, I have a book or I have music. What step, just basically a broad step based on what you've been able to do with the Dream Box, would they need to know about who that product is for?
Well, first they have to determine, you have to know your audience. You have to know who are the people that are liking your posts, who are the people that are following you, who are the people that are actually purchasing products from you. So when you're able to identify that, I know my audience. I know my audience is the female entrepreneur in most cases. I know that my audience is between 35 and 65 years old, female. I know my audience is someone who dreams big, is someone who believes in inspiration. I know who my audience is. My audience is the woman who wants to look good as well. So you have to know your audience. And once you are able to identify your audience, and we talked about this before, Cyrus, but once you're able to identify your audience, everything else is directed to your core audience. If you're trying to reach everybody in the world, you're going to miss the people who really are your audience. So every marketing strategy, every graphic that you put out, every promotion that you do is directed to that audience. How did I identify my audience? I literally sat down and wrote down, what does my customer look like? And that will help you identify your audience. And of course, you have analytics on social media.
Exactly. Such a great point. I want to say, if you guys are new to Melissa, make sure you guys are following her here on this platform. If you guys are joining us on Instagram, it's literally right here. There's a drop down arrow you'll see right here by my name. If you click that drop down arrow, you'll be able to see Melissa there. Make sure you guys are giving her a follow. Also, if you guys are just stumbled upon us here on social media, if you're not following me, make sure you give us a follow. If you have a question directly for Melissa about the topic we're discussing today, or a question for business, there's a bubble down below. In that bubble, there's a question mark. Feel free to click on that. You can write your question in there. Be glad to be able to get that up. Melissa, to this point then, and I love this, and we're kind of going through this transition. So you have a person who started a business or a brand. They have a product that they want to be able to share with the audience. So, of course, as you mentioned, the marketing of that is so important. For one, knowing who the audience is, but also knowing how that product connects with them. So I want to ask you the other side of that, whether you have given the gift box, the dream box, to someone else, or you've had someone actually receive it. What has it been like for you to see the way that people are responding to it in line with the mission that you had in creating it?
Oh, wow. It's so exciting, Cyrus, because I get photos where people had them delivered just we coming out of the holidays. We sold more dream boxes this holiday than we have ever since we launched them over 3 years ago. But one of the things that I've been receiving is people are doing videos of them opening the box and the expressions on their face. I've been getting comments that said, you know what, just opening this box made me feel so much better. One lady said, you know what, I just flew in. I wish I would have had that box when I was on their airplane because I was feeling so much anxiety. It would have calmed me to just open the box. That makes me feel amazing to know that people are getting it. They're getting it. It's not just a gift. It's not just the ID bracelet. It's the experience. It's how it makes you feel, whether you're receiving it or giving it. It gives you so much. I even get comments, Cyrus, from people who gave it as a gift that says, you know what, thank you so much for creating this. This says everything that I would have wanted to say, but didn't know how to say it. So it has just taken on a whole life of itself, and I'm thrilled with it.
Yeah. So I want to ask you what may be a difficult question. I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this question, but I've experienced this myself, and I'm sure other people who have started businesses as well. They may have started something as an auxiliary part of their business, but they've seen it take off in a way they did not expect. How do you contain it? Because there will be people who will be watching this, Melissa, who will say, okay, I started this thing on the side of my business. It wasn't supposed to be the main thing I did, but I'm seeing it getting the attention. How do you decide whether you dig into that and keep going with it, or be able to find a way to balance it with the rest of your business?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think you have to look at the product that you're delivering, because when I first launched the Dream Box, we made some changes along the way in how we presented it, what it looked like, how we marketed it. So you have to give it a time to learn the product, right? So sometimes we have an idea of how we're going to present it, but when we
Yeah.
start promoting it, it starts getting out there, the more we connect with the product, which is what I believe happened with the Dream Box. Once I was able to really connect, I had the idea, but I had to connect emotionally, and that may sound weird because it's a physical product, but I had to connect emotionally to the product and what I wanted it to do to the person receiving it or the person who's giving it. So I had to connect all of that. So yeah, it did some changing, but I believe that when you believe in it, when it's passionate for you, you stay with it, just like your business, right? If everything wasn't perfect when you first started, you had to learn some things, you had to grow through it. A physical product is the same way. On the flip side of that, you have to be honest with yourself and if this is a product that you want to continue doing, because sometimes it's a product for a short time. It wasn't intended to be forever. It was intended to be for that 1 year that you did it. You had something that God wanted you to learn in that process, and that was all it was for. I think what happens to us, sometimes we're just not honest with ourselves about our product, what it's doing, what our intention for the product was, so that we can clearly know whether we need to keep going, make some changes, make it work, or this is something that was just for a time.
Okay. Let's deconstruct that a little bit then, Melissa, because there are some things to keep in mind, right? When you're talking about physical products, because pricing is different, right? Because there are things you have to think about. How did you kind of go into that space? Because again, being from the event planning side and doing what you were doing outside of the dream boxes, you don't have to worry about shipping anything to anybody or figuring that into pricing. How did you do that, and what would you say to our audience about that, about keeping in mind the pricing for the product that they're offering, but also keeping in mind the logistics of if they're having to do the shipping and things themselves, the logistics of that aspect too in the business?
Well, I had to learn that because, like you said, my background was event planner when I started this. So I had to learn what was the best way to ship, what was the most inexpensive way to ship, because it's a business, right? So you
Right.
want it to be profitable. So I had to learn those processes. But one of the biggest things was the vendors that you choose to use for your packaging and things like that, because packaging is really important. It's important to the experience, but you also want it to be cost effective. One of the things we did with the box when we first started the box is every box was custom. So it was difficult to keep the price point at a certain price point. So we had to learn some things in that area. We do featured boxes now, which are so much more received. We still do some custom boxes, but the featured box, we were able to identify all the costs and the vendors. And especially in this season right here, shipping is higher, product is higher, everything is higher. So you want to keep your product cost effective for your customer, but also cost effective and profitable for you as the business owner that's paying attention and giving the best service and the best product as you can to keep that price point in place.
Yeah. So let's talk about also, as we talk about the marketing of a physical product, Melissa. And again, hope our audience is seeing, it's great to be able to have an idea. That is wonderful. That is a very big step. But the execution of the idea is where things sometimes fall apart. And that's why one of the things Melissa's talked about on the show is the importance of planning. Because these are, quite frankly, Melissa, I think you would agree, all things you need to think about before you even launch the product, right? You need to think about how you're going to be able to ship it, how you're going to be able to advertise it. And I wanted to ask you about where to do it. Because, okay, so you have this physical product. How did you decide how you were going to sell it online or how people are going to find out about it? How did that work for you?
Wow, that is key and huge. Well, for me, I have a website, right? So people, I believe as a customer that if I have to do a whole lot to buy your product, I'm probably not going to buy it. So you want to make sure that it's easy for them. So I have a website that they can go on, one click, take them straight to the dream box. They can purchase it, everything right there in that site, just a couple of clicks and your box is on its way. You want to make sure that that's part of what you just said, thinking about it at the beginning. Because if you have to send them here and you have to send them there before they can even pay and give you their shipping information, they got to go to 3 or 4 different steps, then they're just not, you're going to just lose some people. Yeah. So make it easy. One click, go straight to the dream box. There you go. You can put it all right in there and you can order your product.
Love that. Great tips, Melissa. And I hope you guys are getting this. This is something Melissa is not just sharing with you guys because she read it somewhere. She's sharing it with you because she's able to do it. She has her dream boxes that she has as a physical product. She's able to have a place that she was just explaining to you guys where you can go to be able to buy those things online. And then the process of being able to know what's in it as well. So what would you say to our audience then as we conclude this segment, Melissa? What would you say to them about the importance of, because it seems like everything goes back to planning, about if they're going to want to offer a physical product or even just a service, the importance of the planning of the logistics of it all?
It is critical, right? So we get excited. We get an idea in our heads and it's exciting and you want to jump right in there and start doing it. You want to post that you're getting ready to do it. But get excited because excitement is good. But then sit down and literally write a plan. Take a class that somebody, maybe that's on YouTube, that somebody's created whatever it is that you want to do. Get a certification if that's where you want. You want to be the expert in your product. Put all of that in your plan when you're getting ready to launch your product. Make sure you're ready for the launch. Don't get your idea on Monday and launch it on Friday and you have no product yet. You can't even release the product. Have a plan. Have a goal set, because I believe in goals, Cyrus. So have a goal set so that you can target when you want to release it. But make sure you have that plan. And that plan should include some deadlines, some dates, some milestones. And then you're ready to release it. And it looks and feels like you wanted it to look and feel. And your audience will be ready to receive it.
Yeah. One last thing I want to talk about, then we're going to let our audience know how they can get their dream box that they saw, Melissa. And also, you mentioned the new book, and you have a virtual conference that's literally a month away. One thing we didn't talk about is expectation, not just for us as a business owner, but also for the customer. Because one thing I just thought about is when it comes to shipping, that takes time. Do you find that was something you had to consider when you placed information on the site as to how fast they would get the product?
Oh, absolutely. Because we're human, and when we order it on Monday, we want it on Tuesday. So you want to set the expectation on the website. It'll tell you that orders ship 48 hours after it's processed. You want to be clear with it so that your customers can understand. Now, there are seasons like during the holidays, things move a little slower, but they get that. It's all about communicating that to them when they place their order. Then they're comfortable because people are used to ordering online. You just have to tell them what your policies and procedures are. That's part of the plan, and you have to determine that for yourself when you're planning your product.
Yeah, such a great point, and an important point as well, because I have seen some people will say, allow 2 weeks for delivery, allow 3, and I think for the customer that's important to know, because some of us, that may not work for us in what we want it for. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to have that information. And I totally appreciate that. Again, everyone, Master Event Planner Entrepreneur, Melissa, these segments go by, but you gave some valuable information. I have to say, Melissa, you did good. You did good, Melissa. So again, everyone, Master Event Planner Entrepreneur Melissa Banks sharing with you guys how to market your product, especially when it comes to physical products. If you guys are watching this on the replay, make sure you guys do post your questions in the comments. Melissa and I will both be checking those in. The time gets away from us, though, because Melissa shares so much valuable information. We want to make sure you guys are getting value out of this, too. We don't just want to come on and laugh. And, Melissa messes with me all the time. You guys know I don't mess with anybody. But Melissa gives me a hard time, y'all. She gives me a hard time. Right. But y'all know I don't deserve that. But I deal with it. But no, Melissa, so 3 things. First, how can they get the Dream Box?
Okay, so I make it really easy for you to purchase your Dream Box. If you go to themelissabanks.com, click on purchase Dreambox, and it takes you right to the place on the website that you can order it. One click, there you go. TheMelissaBanks.com.
All right, that's one. You mentioned you have the new book, Dream by Design, the devotional, the expanded edition that's out now. How can they get that?
Wow, I'm super excited about that. That book is going to inspire you, motivate you, and push you to action. You can go to TheMelissaBanks.com, click Dream by Design, the devotional expanded edition. Takes you right to Amazon where you can place your order.
Awesome. Third thing, you do have a virtual conference that's coming up for female entrepreneurs in January. Let them know when that is and how they can get their ticket. You have a special that's going on right now with the tickets, right?
Absolutely. It's Imagine the Possibilities virtual conference. We have speakers from all over the world, really, that will be pouring into you to push you, to excite you, and to push you to action. Right now, the regular ticket price is $97, but we have limited seats between now and midnight on Friday. You can claim a seat for just $25. The conference is January 29th, 2022, and you can do it from your home, get a group together, women together, and get excited about it. You can get your tickets at TheMelissaBanks.com. It's the very first link when you go to the site.
All right, Melissa, congratulations to you on an amazing 2021. Glad that we could wrap up this year with this week's show. Again, giving our audience the tools they need when it comes to building and branding their business, but also in marketing as well. And looking forward to continuing this in the new year.
I'm super excited, and Happy New Year for 2022. Imagine the possibilities. We're going to go straight to the top.
Yes, we are. And we thank you all for tuning into this episode of the Melissa Banks Show. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.